Terrence.
Oh. Hello, how are you? I'm so excited to talk to you today. I've got a real good message. I want you to call all your friends, all your positive, motivated friends, and friends who need some motivation, and tell them, hey, you need to watch Les Brown. We're gonna have lunch together. Watch this page today. I want you to like this page and share it. Like it and share it. Okay, like it and share it because I want to share a message to you that I was thinking about. And the title of what I'm going to talk about today is Bet on You. Bet on You. If there's any time that message is needed, it is now to bet on you. Like this page and share it. Because a lot of people are giving up. A lot of people are surrendering. A lot of people are feeling hopeless. And they're throwing in the towel on themselves. I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to begin to spread the word. I think if things can go viral, that's funny, or things that's just ridiculous, there should be some energy put forth to spread things that can help people out in terms of their attitude. There's a lot of stuff going on. And let me share this with you. It doesn't bother everybody. Some people have a great capacity for suffering. Have you ever seen somebody in a relationship and they were catching purity hell and you would ask, how could they stay in that relationship? It was working for them. It worked for them. Mm-hmm. Until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, you will never change. It worked for them, but it wouldn't work for you. That just would not work for you. And don't try and figure that out. Just leave that alone. My mother would say to me, Leslie, keep your nose out of other people's business. I want you to like this page and share it because I've got a message for you today that a lot of people need this, and particularly our children. There's an article, and the article, the title of it is called Our Kids Are Not Okay. You should read this article about teenagers, teenage suicide. Our kids are not okay. And all this stuff that's going on right now, our kids are not okay. Suicide among teenagers soaring. Kids from as young as 5 years old to 11. The suicide rate there has increased dramatically. Before the coronavirus, the suicide rate in America had increased 32%. And so we need to, I think, we have to create a lot of positive messages now. There's so much division, so much hate, so much stuff going on right now that evil prevails when good people like yourself don't join arms with other good people to spread the word about something positive. I want you to join me. I've got a message. I spent some time on this. I want you to like this page and share it. It's very, very important. The message today, bet on you, because a lot of people's lives are being disrupted. Bet on you. And some of you have had your lives disrupted and came through. That message that you have in you, we give a message out of our mess, okay? There are people who will use that as a survival guide to help them to rescue themselves from making a permanent solution for a temporary situation. I want you to like this page and share it. Like it and share it. Today I'm talking about bet on you. I want you to think about some golden dream. If you don't have one, get one. People who aim at nothing in life usually hit nothing dead on the head. Bet on you. Don't look around and say, well, I had a job and I've been laid off, and I don't know what I'm going to do now. Don't say that. Here's what you're going to do. Bet on you. Figure it out. Figure it out. You can. You got a mind, and you can figure things out. Let me give you an example. I have a friend, Tawana Williams. Tawana was born with no arms. She wrote a book called Unarmed but Dangerous. No arms and one leg shorter than the other. There's several sisters, but she was the only one born with no arms and one short leg, and got a handsome husband named Toby. All right. And she said one time that the reason that God did that to her and not her sisters is because God knew she could handle it. You talking about strong self-esteem, person believing in themselves. One day, and this is a regular occurrence in the house, she asked one of her sisters to help her go to the restroom. And this sister said, "No, go yourself." And she said, "I can't go. You know, I don't have any arms." Sister said, "Figure it out," and walked away from her. Then she went to the other sister. "Would you help me go to the restroom, please? I got to go." And sister said, "No." Figure it out. They got tired of helping her go to the restroom. And she said, "Les, I had too much pride to urinate on myself." And she sat on the couch and she was thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us are at different points in our lives in situations that it just seems impractical. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem logical that we will be able to figure it out, that it's beyond being practical and realistic. I mean, how can I take my clothes off and go to the bathroom? I don't have any arms and one short leg. And y'all been helping me all my life. Now today, y'all tell me to figure it out. And so she didn't get angry. She became defiant. And she sat on the couch and she decided, "I'm going to figure this out." She had too much pride to go around and find her other sisters. And she said, "I'm not going to ever ask them again. I'm going to figure this out." See, sometimes, listen to me, sometimes life has to slap you in the face to make you figure things out. I remember when I turned 18, and after I graduated from Booker T. Washington High School, my mother woke me up and said, "Are you going to get a job?" I said, "No, ma'am. I don't have any job to go interview for." And she said, "You're going to need a job." "Why?" "Because you got to pay rent." "Pay rent? I've been living here all my life. Why am I going to pay rent?" "Get a job or you're going to have to go." "Go where?" "Figure it out. But you can't stay here and not pay some rent." I was upset. I got some friends of mine we call the Party Boys, and we got an apartment. About 15 of us stayed in one apartment on 3rd Avenue. And then and between us, we didn't have no money for the rent, so we got evicted. So what? I would have stayed with my godmother. And she said, "Leslie, how much you going to give me for the rent this month?" "Did Mama call you?" "No, Mamie didn't call me. But you can't stay here without paying some rent. When I get up in the morning, I go to work, and everybody got to go to work when I leave here." And I had to get a job. Got a job in sanitation department, throwing garbage. That did not last long, all right? But I had to figure out how I was going to stay with her because she would not let me stay there rent free. And I'm glad when I look back, I'm glad that she did not, because I had to figure out how I was going to take care of myself. So Tawana sat on the couch, and then she got an idea. When you stop and think and go within, you're going to get some ideas of how you can deal with your situation. And she used her chin and her shoulder to turn the knob on the closet. And she opened the closet door. And she stood there looking for a minute. And then she used her mouth. She bit on a coat and jerked it real fast, and the coat fell. And along with the coat falling, a hanger fell. And she used her toes to bring, she can write real good with her toes. She used her toes to untangle the hanger. And when she got it loose, she stretched it. Took a minute. She stretched it. And she got this part of the hanger into the zipper. And Tawana zipped her pants down. And then she using this part, she got the zipper down, then she got the other side of her pants down. Then she got the other side of her pants down. And then she got her panties down. From that day to this day, she never asked her sisters to help her go to the restroom. She figured it out. Many times when we challenge ourselves, something Robert Schuller said, there's never a shortage of money, just a shortage of thinking. When we challenge ourselves to think, we can figure stuff out. I'm telling you what I know. This is a time for thinkers, not for people that worry, for people who are willing to work to think and figure out a way in which they can build a bridge to a new life. Don't become buried treasure. What do you mean, Les? I remember after having 238 radiation seed implants because of the diagnosis of prostate cancer, 4th stage. And I remember one night I was reading, I couldn't sleep, and I ran across this quote by Dr. Howard Thurman. Dr. Thurman was a mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was an advocate and a mentor of Mahatma Gandhi and Albert Schweitzer. He wrote The Centering Moment. Deep is the hunger. And I often use something he wrote in my presentations. In fact, I did it at West Angeles Church in Los Angeles, and Denzel Washington was in the audience, and he made a decision about his career in terms of the kinds of roles that he was going to play. And this piece that Dr. Howard Thurman wrote was simply this: don't become buried treasures. He said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents, the gifts given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams, you never used those talents, you never used those abilities, those gifts, those innovations. You never wrote that book. We never saw your art. We never heard your voice. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now We must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died now, what dreams, what talents, what ideas, what businesses, what books, what voice, what story, what leadership, what innovation will die with you? The great Miles Monroe said the wealthiest place on the planet it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. Don't become buried treasure. When my friend Alexander Boo Wims died, and after we buried him, I'll never forget leaving the cemetery, and a lady approached me and said, "Mr. Brown, we buried a good man today." I said, "Yes, we did." "How long did you two know each other?" I said, "From second grade." And she said, "I've heard you talk about his cooking." I said, "Oh boy, Boo could cook." Yeah, all kind of Caribbean dishes. He was bad. Bahamian dishes. He was awesome. She said, "You mentioned that he was going to write a recipe book with his special recipes, and you would do the foreword." I said, "Yes." She said, "Did he write it?" I said, "No." She said, "Ooh, he took that with him. He took that with him." And she just turned and walked away. I thought as I was going to my car, wow, if you died now, what will you take with you? Live full, die empty. Don't become buried treasure. Bet on you. Bet on you. Write this down. Make your move before you're ready. I didn't speak for 14 years. You know why? Because I said, I can't compete with people with PhDs and MBAs and years of corporate experience that I don't have. I've got to take my time and get some paper behind my name before I can develop the credibility, before somebody would see that I have something of value, before somebody would select me. Nobody's going to reach over people with PhDs and MBAs and years of corporate experience that I don't have and say I want that one. 14 years I wasted. But then one day, I decided to bet on me. One day, I'm in an audience, guy is speaking, and I was looking at him and I said, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. One day I'm in this audience and that moments, and some of you have had this experience where you felt a speaker was talking to you. This guy was talking to me. This speech was for me. To this day, I don't know his name because I was so upset. He messed me up. And he stopped in the middle of his speech. He said, ooh, and I had just resigned from the Ohio legislature, went back to Miami to take care of my mother who was suffering from breast cancer. And I promised her, you will not go to a nursing home. We will take care of you. And I had no idea how I was going to do it. 95% of people who file bankruptcy do so because of medical expenses. Most people don't know that. I had no idea what I was going to do. But I knew I could speak. I knew I had a story. I know I love to help people. That was a part of me. And that's why I always went to seminars and workshops and had tons of cassette tapes. Millennials don't know anything about cassette tapes. And this guy stopped. He said, there's somebody here who should be up here speaking, holding this microphone. He started looking over the audience. He said, but you've convinced yourself that you can't do this. that you don't have what it takes. He said, what you have is enough. You need to believe in yourself. I'm standing in your dream. And then he went on, started speaking again. And then he started looking, wait a minute, I'm sitting behind somebody and saying, is this guy looking for me? Why is he looking over here where I am? Did somebody tell him something about me? He looked. He said, listen, I'm going to say this. It's just dropped in my spirit, and I'm going to let it go. He said, you were born to do this. This is who you are. I love making the money. I love traveling and somebody else pick up the tab. But you, this is who you are. This is your calling. And the reason I'm standing up here and you are seated out there, I represent the thoughts you have rejected for yourself. God, I jumped up, and at that time, they had a telephone booth out front. You can make a call for a dime. And I called Mike Williams. Mike, what's happening, man? Calm down. No. I'm not rejecting myself anymore. Brownie, take it easy, man. Take it easy. No, I'm not rejecting myself anymore. My mother has breast cancer, and she needs me. And I need to be able to do something that allows me to be available to her and something that's me and I can speak. I got a story. Will you help me? And he said, yes, I will. Somebody asked me to tell the story again. She said that she had a friend that would be blessed by it. And he came. Bet on you. Here's something else. Ask for help. There's skills and talents and abilities that Mike Williams has that I don't have. I don't have those. I'm an Aquarius. You know, I'm one of those people. Ready, fire, aim. You throw enough rice on the wall, some of it's gonna stick. Mike will ask. He's a Virgo. Why wall? Why rice? Why not grits? Too many questions. And ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. And so Mike became my strategist and he became my mentor. To this day, 51 years to this day, he saw this Les Brown that you now see that I did not see him because I didn't believe within the confines of my thinking being logical and practical and realistic, not having 4-color brochures, not having an MBA, not having a PhD. I did not think I could do what I'm doing now. I had no idea that in my future, if I was willing to bet on me, that I would be able to speak in over 51 countries. I did not know in my future, if I was willing to bet on me, I would speak in the Georgia Dome, which no longer exists, to over 80,000 people. I did not know in my future, if I was willing to bet on me. But public television would select me to do presentations to raise funds for them. One called You Deserve. You ought to look at it. It's possible. Getting unstuck. When he spoke that day, that guy spoke. I got unstuck from not believing in myself. I got unstuck from not believing that I was good enough. I got unstuck for living a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. You're listening to me now because there's something in you, something in your heart. I'm not speaking to your mind. I'm speaking to your heart. The heart, the mind has been trained to be practical and logical, and realistic. But the heart, that's what I'm talking to right now. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. There's something in your heart. And don't figure out, don't sit on the sidelines trying to figure out how you are going to do it. You do what you can, and God will do what you can't. When you are convicted, when you are sold on yourself, somebody's going to say yes. Do you hear me? Somebody's going to say yes. Somebody's going to invest in you. Somebody's going to say, I think she's got something here. Mary McLeod Bethune, come forth. She was singing with her little small choir of kids in the Daytona Beach area when tourists came down to Florida and collecting funds to build Bethune-Cookman College because Black people were not allowed to go to the white colleges. And one day, a gentleman came to her and asked, can I talk with you? Said, yes. You said you're raising funds for a college? Yes. Can you take me and show me where this place is? And she said, yes. She had went to the city fathers in Daytona Beach area and asked for land to build her college. And they sold it to her like $2 or $3, the city dump. And so she took this gentleman, this white gentleman followed her out there, and they're being stung by mosquitoes and everything. And she said, the dormitory is going to be over there. And the music center, it will be over there. And classes will be held over here. She had this vision in her mind of what it was going to look like. Oh, I love one of her quotes. Pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon you. And this man, he saw what she saw. He saw that she was convicted in her spirit. He saw that even though she didn't have the money, even though she had never built anything before, but he saw that she was determined to do this. This was her destiny. And he supported her. He invested in her. Just met her walking in a junkyard with her. You know who the man was? Mr. Singer of Singer Sewing Machines. Don't you give up on you. Don't you give up on your dream. No, you have no idea who's watching you. You have no idea. I spoke in Detroit. I was promoting the Dick Gregory Bahamian diet. I spoke to motivate people to buy the Dick Gregory Bahamian diet. And a guy named Dr. Talmadge McKinney, an orthodontist, I was going from city to city doing motivational speeches free. So a calling is something that you love so much that you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. But nobody was paying me at that time. So I was trying to build a multi-level marketing business selling the Dick Gregory Bahamian diet. And a guy came to me afterwards. He said, hey, man, where you going from here? I said, I'm going down to the Y. He said, why? I said, so I'm staying. He said, how'd you get here? I was on a Greyhound bus. He said, what are you going to do? You're a pretty good speaker. What are you going to do? Man, you got a funny laugh. I said, man, I'm going to become known as a motivational speaker around the world. He said, do you have a business plan? I said, no. He said, you got a 4-color brochure or something that I can see? I said, no. He said, I tell you what, don't go to Y. Come. My girlfriend Doris, she's here. Why don't you come to my house and you can stay here tonight? And he woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, you know what? You made me laugh. My mother died a few months ago. I have not laughed or smile since my mother died. You made me laugh. You made me feel good. And I just want to help you. You got a talent. You got a gift, man. And God has moved me to help you. Take this. And he gave me an envelope, and I counted it. That's the most money I ever had at one time in my hand in my life. I said, do you want me to sign a contract or something? He said, no. He said, I believe you're going to make it. And I believe when you make it, you'll come back and you'll pay me. The money he gave me was the seed money. I made my first million with that money within 3 years. I came back to pay him plus 35% interest, and he refused to take it. He invested. Sight unseen, didn't know me from Adam. That one time, $95,000. There's somebody waiting with your money in their pocket to invest in you. When you bet on you, when you do the work, when you leap and grow your wings on the way down, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you, because you're willing to walk by faith and not by sight. Bet on you. Don't you underestimate yourself. Bet on you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Bet on you. You are greater than your circumstances. The airplane can't fly without the resistance of air. You get on an airplane, you know what they tell you? If you haven't been on one, before they take off, fasten your seat belts. Why? Because you're going to experience some turbulence before we take off. You're going to experience some turbulence before we reach a comfortable altitude. Bet on you, but understand and know you're going to go through something to get to something. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will not, you might. You will have tribulations. I built my business on rejections, on people hanging up on me. People say, no. Who are you anyway? That's how I built my business. It's part of the process. Suzanne DePass, former president of Motown Records, said, make know your vitamin. Bet on you. Bet on you. Help is on the way. Bet on you. And the more you believe in you, you will begin to attract the people, the things, the resources, the money, and everything you need to make it become reality. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she said, you know, I really like to do your program, but I just can't afford to do it. I said, you know what? You can't afford not to do it, but you really shouldn't do it. She said, why I shouldn't do it? I said, how are you going to teach somebody how to do something that you're not willing to do? You don't teach what you don't know. You don't lead where you don't go. You're not willing to bet on you. If I told you I can get you a McDonald's franchise for the same amount of money that I'm talking to you about, you'll come up with it in 24 hours because you believe a McDonald's franchise will produce a profit for you. But if I had a choice between investing in you, your voice, your knowledge, and your passion for helping people, I would invest in you and I'll get over $100,000 out of you this year. A McDonald's franchise take you 5 years to turn a profit. I believe more in you than you believe in yourself. She wasn't willing to bet on her. Bet on you. Ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. Get some friends together, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, people that can see what you see. People have goals and dreams that's going in the direction of where you are going. And don't try and convince anybody about what you can do. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. If they can't see it, that's none of your problems. This is the calling that God has placed on you. You see it. If they don't believe in you, it's okay. You believe in you. This thing called life, this is not easy. This is difficult. Frederick Douglass is right. We won't get everything that we fight for, but everything we get, there will be a fight. We see this with the craziness that's going on right now. We see this now. And we got to take a stand. We got to stand. We got to fight for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. You got a voice. You've got some talents. You got some abilities. Don't become buried treasure. Live full and die empty. Die empty. I'm not going to leave anything on the table. I told my kids, they tell you I'm dead. Tell them, don't bother my father for 3 days. Just hold out. Wait, hold it. Ain't no hurry here. And then sneak down in the morgue and put a microphone in my hand. If I don't grab it and say, you got to be hungry. So, okay, y'all can go ahead and bomb him now. He's gone. Oh, behave, whatever. Oh, boy. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I'm looking for some people, a small number of people who have a hunger to speak, a hunger to change lives, a hunger to believe in themselves, a hunger to leave a job that's not them, a hunger to live their calling. A job is what you get paid for, a calling is what you're made for, a hunger to build a legacy. I'm looking for people that are fearless, that realize that they were born for such a time as this. Put voice in the comment section. This stage of my life is 75. I got to tell you all this, but I want you to put voice in the comment section. I have a gift for pulling out a voice. There's some people that they could come on screen right now and tell you, I work with Les Brown and he pulled my voice out. You ask Kevin Bracey. You ask Andy Enriquez. You ask Stacey N.C. Grant. They'll tell you, I can go up in there and get the butter from the duck. And we have a lot of time doing it. And they are doing extremely well. Johnny Wimbrey, who just wrote a book called The Billionaire Mindset. He's a bad boy. Let me tell you something. I can do that. If you don't want to take the treasure of your story, your experience, your knowledge, and this reckoning, this historic place in history. History is being read, but it's also being written by people who learn how to become effective communicators. That's why Steve Jobs said, the communicator, the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. They paint a vision. They paint the vision. They set the agenda. They create cultures. They influence and impact people. You were chosen for this time. I want you to put voice. If you can hear me in your heart, where your heart is, there your treasure is also. If you can hear me in your heart, put voice in the comment section. Bet on you. Bet on you. Now I'm going to transition. I had a friend named, I'm not going to tell you her name, Lily Downs, and Valerie Parker. They say they don't like my kid and play hairstyle. I love the movie House Party. Because I'm 75 don't mean I need to be bald headed. My head feels warm with a lot of hair. And then I just I just wanted to do something different. Here's what I'm going to do. Some of you say you like my hairstyle, Kid and Play, and I'm Kid. And some of you say you don't. I'm going to put it up for a vote. If the thumbs come say, yes, I like it, let's keep it. You don't look 75, my brother. You look cool. You got it going on. If the thumbs went on, keep it. I told my barber, you learn how to cut my hair by keeping a social distance of 6 feet, and you got a client for life. And if you say, no, Les, no, that's not you. Valerie and Lily Downs are right. Yeah, no, thumbs down. Cut it. I'm going to cut it right here. Right here. I'm going to come in here and say, all right, come on, Ron. And I'm going to let him shave it down. Take it down. You know, I would do it. Oh, boy. But you guys, sometimes you guys just change up because you can. Tyrone, don't be rude. Excuse me just a minute. I know you don't want to time. I didn't tell you I'm bilingual. Tyrone is a squirrel, and he just said he think I should cut my hair. We've been friends for quite a while now, since the pandemic, and he doesn't like my hair. And so sometimes he interrupts me when I'm doing a Zoom call or a StreamYard, and he's over there saying, yeah, cut it. Cut it all off. Nobody asks you nothing. You got too much dip on your chip, Tyrone. So did he say he's talking to a squirrel named Tyrone, but he speaks squirrely? I think he's been in the house too long. Sometimes you got to laugh. You got to entertain yourself. That's better than worrying and being depressed and feeling anxious. Be anxious for nothing. I got a new class opening up. We're going to close it pretty soon. I want you to put voice in the comment section. I want to work with you to bring your story out so you can be a voice of change. Our children need you. Get the article. Our children are not okay. Get the article. How suicide among teenagers soaring. We need some more voices out here. And teach you how to use your voice to create an experience to transform people individually and collectively. How people live their lives as a result of the story they believed about themselves. I did not believe that I can do what I'm doing now. And I kept this Les Brown hostage until Mike Williams, who wrote the book, and get it, please. You can get the audio version. I suggest that. The Road to Your Best Stuff. I wrote the foreword for it. The Road to Your Best Stuff. He liberated me. I hope I said something today that made you feel good, made you laugh, encouraged you to bet on you, take a chance on you, to walk by faith and not by sight, to leap and grow your wings on the way down. And this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy. Put voice in the comment section. I'm looking forward to working with you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm also looking for your votes too. Bye for now. Oh boy, I enjoy y'all so much. I love you so much, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Oh boy.